Hello everyone, and welcome to this Archreach Masterclass webinar. This is Henry Ruddle. I'm filling in for John Zorn, who normally hosts these. And today we have Lynne King Smith with us offering You Want Points with That, using new technologies to build lifetime patron loyalty. Lynne is going to be giving the same talk at the upcoming Archreach conference in New York on March 20th to 22nd. So if you're going to the conference and you want to follow up with her, ask her more in-depth questions that you don't remember to do today, that would be a great idea. Or if you want to go see one of the other talks scheduled against her, like maybe mine on Saturday.
There you go.
And that would be great too. And we're also having another conference in Canada. Our Canadian Arts Marketing Development and Ticketing Conference is happening in May 30th and 31st this year. So if you're tuning in from Canada, then you may want to consider attending that. We are going to take your questions at the end of the webinar. So feel free to type them in to the question box as you think of them during the talk, but then we'll round them up and ask them of Lynne at the end. And also there's going to be, since this is for members, there is going to be a recording of this if you miss any part of it, or if you want a colleague to tune into it later on the Archreach knowledge base, which you'll be able to access it later today or tomorrow when it gets up there. So without any further ado, I will hand it over to Lynne.
Well, good morning. Again, my name is Lynne King Smith, and I am happy to be here with you. Good morning for those of us that are on the West Coast, and afternoon as we get over to the East Coast. And I like to take a quick poll when I present this webinar live. I just do a show of hands. So Henry and I are going to try the polling aspect of the webinar today to just see how that works. It just gives me an idea of the audience and who I'm speaking to today, so I can make sure that it is as relevant as possible for you and your job role and where you're at with membership and loyalty programs. So to start with, the first poll question, are you ready, Henry? I believe you are. Is what is your job role? And the options are general manager, executive director in your organization. Option 2 or B, marketing, so anything in the marketing department. C, do you work more directly in ticketing or box office? And D, other. So what is your job role? Yeah, go ahead, Henry.
Oh, and we'll give it about a minute for people to answer. About 3/4 of the attendees have answered so far, so we just need a few people to jump in and answer the question, and then we can move on with the next poll.
Wonderful, thank you. While we're waiting for that, I speak often to arts groups, and I know that one of the aspects of loyalty programs is making them relevant for many different generations. And so as soon as we get the poll done here, I'll kind of tell you where I sit in the generational mix, so you kind of know an idea of how I relate that and relate the generational changes that we have and the differences in how generations buy and make buying decisions. So I'll hold on for that till do we have those results in then, Henry?
Well, we've had 84% of the people attending, so there's 2 or 3 people or so that haven't voted yet. Okay. But I think we're probably ready to close it out, and we'll move on to the next one. And did it? Oh, I'm sorry. I have to share it. Okay. All right. Mm-hmm. So roughly close to half of the people here are in marketing.
Great.
Do you see the numbers, right, Lynne?
I do not, actually.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Okay.
I will tell them to you then.
Off, so that's fine, great.
We had 19% of the people vote for executive director or general manager, 44% in marketing, 13% ticketing, and 25% said other.
Okay, thank you. And then the other one is just second question for the attendees is, do you currently have any membership or loyalty programs in operation? And by membership, I don't mean you know, a package that you might buy for a season, but some type of a membership program that has some type of benefit. So option A is yes, and we do have one, and there are ticketing benefits. Option B would be yes, we have a program, but it does not have any ticketing benefits. And option C would be no. So that's a pretty quick one.
And what do you mean by ticketing benefits, like early seating, that sort of thing?
Yeah, if there's anything like early seating or discounts or lower fees, anything that has to do with ticketing in your organization, that is one of the benefits that your patrons can have from being participants in a membership or loyalty program. So yes with ticketing, yes without ticketing benefits, or just no. Just to get an idea of where we're at in the webinar today on the loyalty programs.
All right.
So while you got the results of that?
Yeah, we've got about 80% of the people have voted on that one so far.
All right.
We'll give it another couple seconds, see if anybody else wants to chime in, and then close it out.
All right. Thank you so much, Henry.
All right. So we'll close it out with 80% voting. So what we ended up with was 63% say yes, they do have a program with ticketing benefits, 6% have a program without, and 31% say they don't have a program at all.
Wonderful. Well, thank you all for participating. That does give me a better idea of where we're at, you know, in the room, as it were, our virtual room here today. So as we get started, I did mention I like to let you know, because a lot of times when we're looking at loyalty programs, and when I speak to arts groups, one of our challenges is that you're having to meet the needs in your programming and in the way you present your programs to multiple generations. And where I sit in that, I'm a self-proclaimed betweener, is what I call myself. And that means I'm either a very young baby boomer or I'm a very old Gen Xer, depending on where I want to fit in at the time. My children then are millennials, and my parents are part of what some people call the silent generation. So I'm familiar firsthand with how 4 generations choose their products, shop, make decisions, and I try to apply that to this presentation and all the things that I do really in the arts markets and in my marketing experience. And so I hope that's relevant for your organization. We'll be bringing those into play a little bit. So let's get started with the presentation today. One moment, please. Sorry, I'm having a, there we go. Everywhere we go, and with every purchase we make, we're offered the chance to get rewards or join a membership program. So if you think about it, you can see the assortment of cards here: grocery stores, bookstores, department stores, airlines, hotels. It goes on and on. As patrons do, as patron, we do it for the rewards, and we do it for points, coupons, and upgrades and privileges. And what we do to get those things is give away our data. And we use the same companies over and over again to build up those rewards. Case in point, I recently booked my hotel for the wrong week, and upon checking in, I discovered I had a sold-out hotel and there was no room for me at all. And rather than look across the street at another property that was right there, I found myself across town at another Hilton hotel. And the question was why? Because of points. And secondly, I also knew I would get the same treatment that makes me feel special and keeps me coming back again and again to the Hilton Hampton product. And it was something that I did without really even thinking about it. I got to the hotel, and I had the room, and I got the good treatment, and I thought, wow, I drove 15 minutes across town just to get here for this experience, and it didn't really give it a lot of thought. In ticketing in the arts, we've been treating our season ticket holders and big donors as our most loyal patrons. But it's a limited way to build loyalty, and it's going to leave many buyers out completely who might be coming to your venue or your organization presentations over and over again with little reward or little feeling of commitment. Now, as I mentioned, we're marketing our events and organizations to at least 3 and often 4 generations, all with varying ways they expect and prefer to be communicated with and rewarded. So today we can use some powerful tools to build loyalty in new ways. We have online tools now for something that the arts have known the importance of for a long time, which is engagement. Your patrons are faced with many options every day on where they're going to give their money, see a show, what they're going to support with their dollars and their voices. And the winners in the whole game, as I call it, are those who find a way to engage patrons and make them feel part of your organization, just like I did in that Hilton family of hotel experience. And then rewarding them when they do attend a show. Share it with their friends and buy into your venue's membership program. And they want to do all of that both online and offline. So any tool that requires a phone call or a walk-up to redeem a benefit just doesn't hit the mark anymore. So we're going to look at several of the top online reward-based tools. There are many options, but not all are right for every organization. So some of the options are sharing, memberships, points, and referrals. These are the basics. So we're going to look at 3 of those today. We'll start with membership. Now that's a term that in the arts is used in many different ways and means a lot of different things to each organization. So let's define it as I am for this presentation, since many use it for packages, donations, and other organizational programs you may have going on. So membership for today's purpose is defined as a program that rewards its members with some kind of tangible benefit. And in particular, adding some ticketing and event purchase benefits to it. And also for today, to meet the needs of multiple generations, bringing those benefits to the buyer online. To do that, we have to find technologies that make it easy to be recognized as a member and get the benefits of membership every time we come online to buy. So what you're looking at here is a screen of a sample membership program. I'm logged into that program, and I can see what membership levels I have, and I'm able to go ahead and purchase additional memberships if I choose to. And I'm able to do that online, saving that call to the box office or the walk-up visit. Now, membership levels get really interesting, and my main message here is to keep it simple. And, you know, none of us are Starbucks. With Starbucks, you know, a tall is a small at Starbucks if you frequent the coffee shop. We all had to learn that. If you order a tall coffee expecting to get a tall one, it's a pretty short cup. Grande is somehow in the middle, and venti is large, and unless you speak Italian, that doesn't really make a lot of sense to you. So what I find, the point of this is that you can create multiple levels to offer unique benefits to your members at varying levels, but you really need to keep it simple. I've run into some membership programs that have 10 different levels with so many varying benefits and options. It gets so complex the patron is going to give up if they just don't get it. So we find that a really good number for most people is 3. And there are 3 sizes of drinks most everywhere, and it just makes it easy to choose. And you want to keep the names simple. Everybody understands something like gold, silver, and bronze. If you name something that you have to explain, then you've sort of defeated the purpose. And when you put things online, you do need to make it real simple and very clear. And then you want to make a clear difference between your different levels of benefits to get people in one that really fits for them. So we want to also make sure that all your memberships are presented online. Everything that you do, if you're going to push the person to the box office and push them to a phone call, you're going to miss out on a multi-generations of people who are going to want to be able to do things online. So I've got a screenshot here from the Egyptian Theater just outside of Chicago, and they use a 3-level membership program with very clear benefits. So you can see here the Brian Regan screen, when we got in there, you can see the Become a Member button that's there. It's pretty easy to see when they pop in. And then when I purchase that, I'm able to get in and see the different levels of memberships I have there. And then the top, on the right-hand side, you'll see that gold membership is described there. Benefits include advanced ticket purchasing, concession discount coupons, 10% discount at participating DeKalb restaurants. So you can see some of these are ticketing benefits, and some of them have nothing to do with ticketing at all, and they may be things that you can do in partnership as well. But the benefits are clear, easy to read. They can click in and get what they need. Pop-up boxes work really well if the program allows for that. If the screen, you know, if you've got a text-heavy screen, no one's ever going to get down to the bottom of that. Now, there are multiple benefits to offer, but again, keeping it simple and keeping everything as redeemable online is the key to patrons loving their memberships and reusing them over and over again. So here are 3 of my favorites for online enabled benefits. They're clean, they're easy to understand, they're easy for people to redeem. The primary one that a lot of people like, and it actually costs you nothing in revenue, is early access to events. This is a big one, and it kind of feeds into the culture right now where everybody wants to be a special member of something, whether it's airline clubs or being upgraded, you know, getting a room upgraded at a hotel. We've got a culture in our communities now where buyers expect to be rewarded. One of those things that you can do easily in the event ticketing is to give your members early access. Let them get in there first online to buy tickets. Make it easy for them. And you don't have to reduce the prices of the tickets. They're just going to be able to get to those premier seats ahead of everyone else. Another easy one is to do members-only events. So that works well. You may even have a valet parking type and promote that as an event. But people like to do VIP receptions, coffees, pre-show parties, after show, all kinds of things like that you allow members only to, again, allowing them to get access to that online. And then the third one is special member pricing. So this may be a discount on a ticket that you run for a short time, or some people discount fees. So let's take a quick look at each of those. So early access to events. Everybody loves getting in early to get the best seats, especially if you've got a high demand event. So it's not something you have to do each time. Obviously, in the general admission market, this isn't going to really work for you unless you create a special VIP section. But if you do that, if there's motive to get in early and get the best seating, whether it's a good section that you're going to open up early or whether it's going to be the best rows in the house, then you don't have to offer a discount. The early access is enough of a benefit. Now technology now makes this really easy. You can log in and unlock event access and bypass the needs for passwords that can be shared. And that's a true functionality of a good membership program because you're going to want to have it recognize the buyers so that it's knowing exactly that those benefits are active. Now if you're having to log in, I love to use Facebook Connect as a login tool because that makes logging in even easier. I don't even know what my password is for multiple sites because I do use the Facebook Connect feature. And that just means if you're not familiar, instead of entering in an email and a password, you'll have a button that says login with Facebook, and that will use your Facebook credentials to log you into the system that you're on. So it's one click and you're in. So that's just a screenshot. You can see we've got the messaging there that says early booking for supporters, and that would be members is available. And tickets are now on sale for members. Tickets go on sale for non-members, and you give the time and the date. And other than that, you can't get into that until you do log into the system, and then you can unlock that. So you can use a password for members, but keep in mind those can often be shared among people that are not members. So the logging into your membership system and allowing that to unlock early event access is really the most secure way to operate that online. You may want to do a members-only event. You saw in Egyptian Theater that members are offered a free tour of the theater. That works really well in a historic theater or if you've got a brand new theater or you've done some recent remodels. So put that online and make it a members-only treat and allow them to book it easily without having to call in or get their name put on a spreadsheet or something. We also see people doing receptions, after parties, the valet parking, as I mentioned, meet and greets, all only to members. So you can put it online, restrict it to members, and again, login should be easy or one click. And then in that case, you should use your technology to restrict the buyer on these events to a certain number of tickets as well, so that I can't get in and buy 20 tickets for me and my entire neighborhood. Member discounts are another good option. And what you can do here is do special member pricing. Now there's a couple things you can do. You may not always have control of your ticket pricing based on who you're working with. And we don't always like to see people deeply discounting tickets and just giving them away and thereby reducing the real value of that event. But you can do a slight discount if you want to. You can also reduce the fees. And in some cases, again, as you saw on that Egyptian site, you can give away free tickets to things like movies. And we've seen some of clients do things like no-fee Fridays. So members know that only on Fridays when they come in, you know, they're going to pay no fees on those events. So it pushes sales. It can be promoted easily on social media, and it really works out well. Finally, membership should be purchased and renewed online. So you want to prompt your buyers so that they allow to see that when their membership is expired, they should be able to renew it instantly and gain the benefits immediately. So these are things when you're looking for a membership program, whether you've got one that's integrated with your ticketing system or whether you're looking at implementing something that you add on to ticketing. These are just the guidelines. It doesn't have to be this particular system, but just remember to keep it very simple, to get it online, and to vary those benefits. So that's kind of membership summed up, and again, brief overview. You could name it anything you want to, but just some very easy ways that you can start on a very small scale to really start to build some loyalty. And we do have, as you saw with Egyptian Theater, we have people that actually purchase those memberships. They're used sometimes for donations, and then you can tack membership benefits onto them. Second thing we're going to look at is social sharing and referrals. So social sharing is a powerful tool that can increase your patron base. So the membership deals with you building kind of loyalty with your existing patrons that you have. But we need to get outside of that database. We wear that thing out. We email to the same people over and over again, year after year. And we need to get outside of that. And social sharing is a powerful tool to do that, to get new patrons involved in your organization. Social media and digital marketing really helps you increase your base, and it can also help you kind of build a buzz. It's a term we like to use in social media because of sharing. But just having the capability to share isn't enough. Buyers might be excited about the event they just purchased tickets for, maybe the new Broadway subscription package they just renewed. Why are they going to take that extra step and share it? Now we have ways to reward them for doing that. Now, today's internet gives us easy ways to track where your traffic comes from with links that are embedded with cookies. So an obvious use of this technology is rewarding the share. On your confirmation page, after any purchase of tickets or donations, anything at all, you should be doing two things. You should make it easy to share, and then you should offer rewards for sharing. So a tiny share this button isn't going to do it. Some of those are so small you can't even see them. When our developers first showed me the social sharing page a few years ago, it was hardly noticeable. There's a tiny little icon there. I put it right back to them, and we increased the size of the text, created an interesting customizable message, and added the sharing icons. Let your friends know. Now that you've got tickets, let your friends know, click below to share. So it's more text that's prompting and engaging rather than hiding that little sharing button up at the top corner. Now that's prompting them to share is what that screen on the right is there, and that's all fantastic. Through Google Analytics and the sharing analytics, you'll be able to see how much that's being shared out there, and you can actually find out and kind of target what's going on and get the results from that. A step further is to reward people for sharing. A couple years ago at a Billboard conference, I heard somebody talking, and they were sharing a program where every time somebody shared, they were going to get a reduction. Shared a purchase, they were going to get a reduction in fees or in the cost of their ticket. And I thought to myself, that seems a little bit loose because people will just kind of maybe go crazy and share and share and share, and you don't know if those are quality shares or if they're repeating them. So the rewards that we use is to be able to track the share, and this is what you can see here on the left-hand side. Share your purchase with friends, and if 3 friends use your link to purchase tickets, you'll receive a free shirt and tickets to an upcoming show. You can make that benefit whatever you want to, and you can do it just for a single purchase. But that orange link that you see there is actually embedded with cookies. So if I use that link, if I email that out to my friends, or if I put that into the sharing on Facebook, anybody who clicks that link is now going to be tracked back to me. So that's pretty great because I can now pull a report and take a look and go, well, Lynn shared that, and Amanda did the purchase off of that, and so now that that came back into us as a share, we got a new patron out of it, we want to reward Lynn. Now, some people offer discounts, others track them, and when a certain number is reached, you can upgrade the membership for free. But again, beware of cutting fees and ticket prices too deeply. There are a lot of ways to reward people that are non-monetary and are going to still be really fun and engaging for people. Now, social sharing analytics, once you add rewards to social sharing that are trackable, you're going to see them increase. So as soon as you start, you should start as a baseline and check your analytics for how many shares you are getting off of your purchases. After that, if you start to offer some rewards, then you'll start to see those really increase. Through Google Analytics, you'll get sharing data and you'll see what's working. And we have actually a separate webinar that we conduct on Google Analytics, but you can set it up under social interactions in your Google Analytics page, and you'll be able to track on that. And that way you can also, based on the membership program that you can use, you can also track the conversions that happen because of people sharing. So again, those are quality shares. If I share with 50 people and my audience didn't care at all about the concert that I bought tickets for or that event, that's not a quality share. I might share with 3 people and end up with one of those who actually is going to follow through and buy a ticket to that event or purchase a membership. So that's why I think it's important to set the rewards based on the response of the referred buyer. All right, well, third and last is loyalty programs that can track somebody through the patron life cycle. Now, I like to pause at this point. Most of us in the membership section and the social sharing are probably doing something similar to that, and maybe you can increase a little bit of what you're doing and improve on it slightly. In this section, I usually ask when I'm in front of people that they don't laugh and they don't just run me out of the room to say you're dreaming. I'm going to ask you to dream a little bit. I know there was a webinar earlier this morning, and when we were at INTIX this winter, we talked about thinking outside of the box and really dreaming big and where is ticketing going. And I think this is kind of for us in the arts market to look at where some of our patron loyalty programs can really go and where they're headed in the years ahead. So we're going to take a look at this and largely think about that the sports market has led the way with rewarding its fans and turning them into multi-generational fans for life. And the same principles can apply to the arts market. Now, we're going to talk about patron life cycle marketing, and we're going to talk about a specific loyalty program. Now, I'm going to show you some of the aspects of that program that is available through a technology partner of mine, Ski Data. This program and others like it are available as standalone products, or they can be integrated with multiple different ticketing and scanning programs. So this isn't something that is just for one specific ticketing or marketing company. And you can also take the same principles and work them into other programs that can execute it for you. So we're not going to get stuck on the technology here. It may vary, but the principles are pretty simple. Building life cycle patrons, as we call it. Technology can just help us to do it cleaner, faster, and better. And the arts have been doing that offline. Let's see what we can do online. Now, to start with, we'll look at the traditional, what we call the shotgun communication, and that's through mass media. Typically, we use things like newspaper ads, radio ads, direct marketing, email blasts, posters, in-venue promotions, yellow pages, directories, print. All of those things are probably being used by your organization pretty heavily. But they all have something in common. They're all expensive, and they're difficult to quantify the return on investment. How many people came to your event because of the newspaper article that they saw or the radio ad that they heard? I was floored when I first saw this quote by John Wanamaker and Company because it goes back to 1875 and it's still true today in 2014. Half of the money I spend on advertising is wasted. The problem is I don't know which half. And that's part of the problem with those traditional methods that we saw. And I'm not saying they're going anywhere, but they are extremely difficult to quantify, and they're very, very expensive in many cases. Now, there's a paradigm shift that, the sports are a bit ahead of the arts in, because they're learning that you need to engage with customers rather than to broadcast to them. So most of those other methods we looked at are one-way broadcasting, shouting communication. By engaging directly and personally with our fans and our corporate customers, that's where we start to really build a sustainable lifetime fan or patron value. And here's some electronic channels that allow us to do that in a little better way than some of the traditional methods. Personalized emails, SMS or text messaging, loyalty cards, whether they use RFIDs or mag swipes, smartphones, single sign-on for everything that you do, and social media. And so the question that we ask now is, with bidirectional communication, are we listening? And oftentimes we're out, we're shouting and we're not listening and we don't have an opportunity for feedback. Through bidirectional communication, we can actually learn about the wants and needs of our patrons, and rather than guessing what the rewards and programs will be meaningful to them, we can actually allow them to respond to us, and in some cases to customize and choose their own rewards, and that's where it gets really fun. So now we're going to get speculative here for the end. We're going to go to Rebecca as a life cycle patron. This is just an example, and it may be far-fetched, but in 10 years, maybe it won't be, maybe even in 5, maybe even in 3. So Rebecca comes to her first show through a tell-a-friend campaign, which her friend Susan forwarded to her. We sent Susan both an automated email and a text when Rebecca entered the venue to tell her that she received 1,000 loyalty points for the friend referral. We don't know much about Rebecca, but we do have her email address. After the show, we emailed Rebecca to see if she enjoyed the experience. In that same communication, we also offer her a membership and a loyalty card with an incentive. Maybe in this case, it was points and a free glass of wine at the next show to join the membership program. So Rebecca bought a mini package and came to 4 more shows that season and bought the commemorative wine glass using some of her points. Rebecca loved that whole experience. In the next season, she bought a full package. She went to 10 shows. She bought a women's lecture series with some of her points and loved it. She went to the venue's open house and drank some more wine. And now she goes to single shows with Susan and 2 other friends that she invited. So now we're going to fast forward. Rebecca continued as a season ticket holder for the next 20 years. She's been to over 250 shows and experienced the highs and lows, and she now takes her daughter Janie to shows. Janie had her 10th birthday party at the venue with a movie. Rebecca is also now a local business leader. The company is a regular sponsor of the venue, and she serves on the board. So now we can ask, what is that dollar value of that one share 20 years ago from Susan to Rebecca, and how we cultivated that to a relationship that lasted for 20 years? Well, based on a profile of her spending behavior over a 20-year period, we anticipate she could spend $15,000 on her support, probably more. If she also became a corporate supporter, we could expect to add a further maybe $25,000 over a 10-year period of time. Now, if the organization recruits and engages with just 10 Rebeccas every year, and only 5% become corporate Rebeccas, so 10 of them, and only a small percentage even become corporate donors, the annual value to that organization could be huge. I think I did some calculations and came around $500,000. So I know I'm dreaming, and I know that I'm throwing out some thoughts that are new, and but that's what I like to do. I like to say, how can we do that on a small scale? And actually, these technologies are in place now. I'm not trying to sell you this program, as we are at the very cusp of even marketing anything similar to that, and I guarantee you that there are more programs out there that are similar. But just to see an idea, there's a simple database where access control ties in with ticketing, hospitality, web signups, merchandise, e-surveys. Again, that's hearing back from people so that you can tailor marketing messages, text messages going out like we talked about as soon as Rebecca came in the door to let her know we knew she was there and give her a reward, automated campaigns that go out. And I think the best part of this product, and many like it, is that patrons can view and spend their loyalty program points online. That's what makes it really inviting, and that's, I think, the only type of membership programs that are going to work as we spin ahead into Generation X and the millennials becoming our top arts attendees over the next number of years. Now, again, I remember way back a number of years ago, I was an Arizona Diamondbacks season ticket holder, and they had a membership program back in the 90s, and we could swipe a card upon arrival to the park, and it was exciting because the membership kiosk would spit out a coupon and say, you know, this is your reward today, and you have this many points. So we weren't able to do it online at that point, but I remember that my kids loved it. They'd get $5 off of a shirt or some free popcorn or whatever it was, and it was very engaging. And so it's something that, you know, online and offline can be done. But as we grow, these softwares are becoming more and more affordable and more applicable. And I just want to kind of open your mind today to say, you know, this is what's coming in many ways, and this is the way we can take what sports has done successfully and bring it into arts and really start to do some rewards that make a lot of sense for the next couple of generations. Now, to scale it back down, one thing that's important to know with loyalty programs is one size does not fit all, and everything that we saw today and many things we didn't talk about today are not going to fit every organization. Each time I talk and consult with organizations, everyone has something unique to them. So keep that in mind. Remember, again, to always keep your loyalty program simple, and that's something where I think we tend to overcomplicate. I've read 8-page brochures from arts organizations, and by the time I'm done, I have no idea which one of their 23 packages I want and which one is good for me. If you do a very simple 1, 2, 3 option, that's going to really increase, especially when you're gaining some new buyers. Maybe your 20-year-old veterans understand that program, but look at it through fresh eyes and make sure it's simple and easy to understand. I'm a big fan of white space, both on your website and also on any brochures that you do. And that's something with, especially the next couple generations, you're going to get a few sentences in, and if it's too complex, too complicated, I think one of the words that we use in here in my office is too many words. So that happens a lot of times, and it happens in our marketing and our advertising. So also, everything that you do, try your best to put a piece of that, if not all of it, online, so that you're training people and giving them the opportunity to engage with you online. They're all there across all 4 generations, and anything that you can put online is going to be a win. Doesn't mean you have to exclude those that love to buy at the box office and love to call your staff at the phone, on the phone. Fabulous, keep that going, but just don't exclude the online buyers, or gradually you're going to see that audience slipping away. And then make sure to customize it to who your audience is and also who your desired audience is. So if you design everything for your current audience and you don't design it within mind, and how am I going to grow this? Maybe I make a special new program just offer to first-time members, and I make it something really clean and simple, and it's only good for that 1 year, and then I graduate them to a different program. That's something that you can do. But oftentimes our programs are complex, they're expensive, they're too hefty. If I'm new to your venue, I maybe don't want to buy an 18 package subscription or a $400 membership. So you need to have something at the entry level so that you can really customize that to your desired audience. So there we go. Henry, I'm going to close that out as my part of the presentation, and I want to thank you for participating with me today. And I'm just going to check in with Henry now and see if there are any questions from the attendees.
All right. Well, thank you, Lynn, very much. That was a very nice presentation. And yeah, and one of your final points I really agreed with. I make a similar point in some of my talks about how in our marketing pieces, our printed marketing pieces and our email blasts, we have the luxury nowadays of not using as many words because we're really trying to drive traffic to the website where people can get the full details, and we don't have to put those details in our brochures anymore like we used to have to do. So everybody, you should have a control panel on your screen that has a One of the boxes on that control panel is for questions, and if you type a question into that box, we can ask it of Lynn. So, and let's see, we'll get started with, we've got a question here, Lynn, that's to get us rolling. What's a good place to start if I don't have a membership or loyalty program in place?
I would say something very similar to what we talked about on that Starbucks slide, maybe just to offer 3 levels of membership and make entry level really simple, maybe even at a $25 level, and give, obviously minimal benefits, but something where they at least maybe are getting early access to certain types of events, things like that. And then make, maybe another level at $100, and then, a third level more expensive with increased benefits. But make sure if you do something like that, you've got to have an entry level that makes sense to people, so that they can sort of give membership a try, and perhaps a new member, have some type of a reception, new member gathering, so that there can be some interaction there, so that they feel some face-to-face with your organization. I think that's pretty important too.
Okay, good. All right, so another question. Is it important to have a membership card or just offer benefits online?
I don't think that a card is 100% necessary. If it does help some people feel connected to the organization, and they've got the card in the wallet so they see it often and think about it. If you do offer a card, it doesn't mean that you have to go to fancy RFID technology to scan that card. You certainly don't want to require that the people always have it with them, to get their benefits or to get into anything at your organization. You want to be able to look that up. But most of the organizations that I see do not use cards, but many do, and I think it can go either way.
Okay. Let's see. In your experience, what seem to be the most popular benefits that are taken advantage of most often?
I definitely see early access as being one of the most popular benefits, and I like that one because it doesn't cost the venue in any discounts that they have to give. One of the organizations that we take phone calls for is the Terrytown Music Hall, and they are a reserved seat venue, and they do have a membership program, and I believe their entry level may be $50 or so. And our team out there in the call center is continually selling new memberships, because there'll be, a radio ad about members only pre-sale, something that's going on in a show people want to be part of. They're not members, and oftentimes they will, drop down that initial membership fee just for that one show, so that they can get early tickets to that show, and then they'll use it throughout the year. So I would definitely say that's one of the most popular benefits that I've seen. People also like any concessions. If you have concessions, they like some type of reward there as well.
All right. Let's see, another question. How time-consuming is it to manage a membership program? Is it worth the effort?
That's a really good question. I think it would come back to scaling it and keeping it simple enough that you can look at your staffing and see who has some time to manage it. Now, if you're able and you can have something automated, like I showed you today, it's not a lot of time, because the transaction for the membership can happen online, and then the redemption can also happen online. So in that case, that's where I would definitely start. If you're going to do something that's going to cause you to keep a lot of Excel sheets and manual tracking, and you don't have the staffing for that, then I would say look for something. There's a lot of little add-on programs you can use that are web-based and inexpensive. I would look for technology to help you manage that, and then just keep it really simple and scaled to your organization. But yes, I do think the engagement is worth it.
Okay. Well, here's one that's kind of related to the question we just had before. Do you think deeply discounting tickets or offering free tickets is a good membership benefit?
Yeah, I've been in ticketing for a long time, and so I am not a fan of deep discounts. I feel like it trains people to, wait for those discounts, and it does cut into a big portion of your revenue. a small discount or a fee discount is really popular, and I think is a much better idea than deep discounts.
All right. Our organization offers discount season passes and rewards for levels of donations. Is it overkill to create a membership program separate from ticketing and donation levels?
It may be confusing. I think that if you call your season ticket subscriptions or packages, you can kind of set that aside because that's strictly ticketing. And then there are, like the Alex at the Egyptian Theater there, that example that I showed, he does use, his membership levels are donations to some degree, to where he's got different levels. So we do have people that combine donor and add some membership benefits. Now, with your nonprofit status, you're not supposed to put monetary values on donations. So you may have to just, if you've got a $200 membership, you maybe have to say $100 of that is your tax deductible, and the other 100 is actually purchasing the membership. But it might be good to kind of merge those two to some degree, so that you don't have too many options again and making it too confusing for people.
Okay. Now I just want to let the audience know we're down to our last couple of questions. So if you have a question, now's the time to get it in, so that you can get it in now, unless you're planning to come to the conference and talk to Lynne personally, or if you want to. I'm sure she'd be happy to answer questions. But, well, I shouldn't speak for you, but I would imagine if somebody emailed you a question, you'd probably answer it.
That would be great. Yeah,
privately.
Absolutely.
In fact, you might flip back to the title page of your presentation, so people, because I think your contact information was on there, right?
It is, yes. I'll go. I'm not good at going forward, so I'll go backwards. There we go. There is my information there.
Okay.
Well.
Yeah. So if you want to contact, if you'd like to contact Lynne to follow up with any of the information you've heard today, you can do that here or at the conference.
My email is not on there. My email is just my initials, lks@ticketforce.com.
Okay.
Just realizing that it's not on there. So yes, feel free.
Yeah, look at that. Okay, so we're. Let's see, what is the best range from entry-level membership cost to premium membership cost? I guess that's asking how far apart should those two things be?
It depends on really what your audience is. So obviously where you're located and what the income levels of your potential patrons and your patrons are. In some markets it might be something like 25, 100 and 250 or something like that, and that might even be a far spread. There are other places that have, it starts at 150 and goes up to 500. So you're going to have to kind of tailor that to your market, and you may want to take a look if you have a donation history, and if you've got some data to find out the range where a lot of people sit. High and low in ticketing and memberships tend to work well, so you're going to sell the most usually on the high end and the low end. Again, it's like those middle seats in your venue that are always a little more difficult to sell. So I think you're going to have to tailor that really to the the income and what you have going on in your particular audience.
But I think in the examples you've given, there's been something like a 4 or 5 to 1 ratio between the bottom level and the top level, right?
Yeah, if you just go, 25, 50, 100 or something, it's that, there's not a lot of distance between those, and it doesn't allow you room to really vary the benefits.
Right.
So I'm a fan of having the low one be really easy to get into and make it really affordable for your market, and the top one be super premium and, give them everything.
All right. Okay, let's see. So unless we get another one in the next few minutes, this will be our last question. Okay. What if I have a current program with many levels? How do I pare that down to make it less confusing?
Mm-hmm. I think you just take a look at it, and this is what when I do some of the one-on-ones, you sit and take a look at those levels, pick out where your most popular ones are, and just sort of do a merge. Pick a point in the middle, say I'm going to take what was level 1, 2, and 3 and put that all into level 1. and maybe price it somewhere in the middle and pare down the benefits so that it's something that makes sense. So you kind of just merge your multiple levels down into less levels that make a little bit more sense for you.
Okay, good. You just said something that that I should probably also mention. One-on-ones. You're going to be at the conference in New York, and you're going to do some one-on-one consultations, as do many
Yes.
of the speakers at the conference. One of the things that the Arch-Reach conferences are known for are these one-on-one consultations between experts at the conference and attendees. And I believe there's going to be 7 consultation slots available at the conference for you and for I think there's about 20 roughly 20 experts who are going to be doing consultations on various different topics during the conference. So if anybody who either missed out today or who sat in and has further follow-up questions is coming to the conference, they may very well be able to sit down with you one-on-one at the conference and and get an answer to that question. Here's my 9 membership levels. What do you suggest?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yep.
All right. Well, that should wrap it up for us for today. Thank you very much, Lynn, for joining, for coming and doing this fine webinar for us. And just a reminder for everybody, the webinar recording will be available on the knowledge base later. And we hope to see you on a future webinar or at a future conference. So thanks, Lynn.
Thank you very much.
And bye-bye.
Bye-bye.